Alright, hello there. Alaikum. My name is Halal Ernie and you're watching Picture This New Media. Today I'm going to be going over the... Oh, and first off, I just wanted to say actually Happy New Year's. Hope you had a safe and Happy New Year's, and I welcome you to the channel, all my new subscribers. I'd like to thank, let's see if I have her here. Oh goodness, where'd it go? I'd like to thank Matia DNA to the channel, and Zion Sprouse. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you. They subscribed a few days ago, so thank you so much. So without further ado, let's get started with January 4th, 2023's new comic book day skip-its and recommendations. Hopefully it'll be a quick stream. I'm gonna try to make it as fast as possible because I don't want to drag on like I normally do. So I'm gonna have some music playing in the background. Hopefully it's not too distracting. And yeah, let's get started. We'll be starting off with Batman 131. I'm going to skip personally. I'm not caught up with this story, but I have heard some decent things about it, so I'm going to recommend it for Batman fans or people who've caught up with the story. And start off with the trade paperback if you haven't, and see if you like the first couple stories, and then go from there. I would definitely use this League of Comic Geeks website to find out what how far you need to go back from what artist and what arc, basically. Next will be Dark Knights of Steel, issue number 9 by DC Comics. I'm going to skip that one. I haven't read it and it just doesn't catch my interest. But recommend it if you like it, but it just doesn't look like something I'd like. Same with the Avengers, X-Force, X-Men Red. I'm going to skip all of those. I'm going to continue getting the Spawn. I have not caught up with them yet, but I think these are such great covers and collector's items, and it's just worth it, especially since they're only $2.99. So if you're a Spawn fan, I definitely recommend that. Next up is Spider-Man issue number 4, End of the Spider-Verse. I have heard horrible things about this one. Silk's in this one, which I like. It's just kind of a little bummer that that it has to be done in such a way where it's written by people actively changing what Spider-Man is and was. So it's just, I don't know. Dan Slott has been fighting with a lot of people on Twitter, and he just does not produce quality work when it comes to Spider-Man. So it's a disappointing whenever Dan Slott has a Spider-Man comic book. Next up is Poison Ivy issue number 8. I'm going to skip it. I'm not liking what they did with Poison Ivy and DC. DC's been hit or miss lately. There's been some really good ones and some really crappy ones, and Poison Ivy, Harley Quinn, and something coming up is really bad too. Next up is Star Wars issue number 30 by Marvel Comics. I'm going to skip it. I've said it before. I do not like the direction Star Wars Marvel has taken it. Next up is Fantastic Four issue number 3. I'm not a Fantastic Four fan, so I'm going to skip it. I haven't heard anything since I don't look it up, so let's see here. 90%, not really the best thing when it comes to that, because there's a lot of fanboys when it comes to this website, so if it's at 90%, that means there's a few people who aren't liking it. Next up is Captain Marvel issue number 45. I'm going to skip it. Not a Captain Marvel fan. I recommend you skip it too, because you're not going to like it. if you watch my streams and you watch my videos, you'll understand that Captain Marvel is garbage. Next up is Marauders issue number 10. I am going to skip that one. I like the cover there by Peach Momoko, but it's just not something I'm interested in. X-Men, it's been a bummer lately watching what they've done. Next up is Scarlet Witch issue number 1. Now I'm gonna take a look and see what this is about. It's probably not something I'd buy, but I'll see for my viewers, see if it's worth it. The Scarlet Witch returns. This is a door that appears only to those who need it most, who have no one else to turn in the world to turn to. On the other side of this door is Witchcraft Shop. Friend or foe, human or otherwise, if your need is great and your hope is gone, there you will meet the Scarlet Witch. Wanda Maximoff is familiar with hitting rock bottom, and now that she's finally found peace, she's pledged all power to help others who are languishing at their lowest. But when a woman falls through Wanda's door with terrifying story of town gone mad, the Scarlet Witch will have to muster her wits and chaos magic to deal with the insidious threat. Comic powerhouse Steve Orlando Marauders, Midnighter, and Sarah Pitchell, Ultimate Spider-Man, join forces, open a groundbreaking chapter into the Scarlet Witch's story. So it looks like there's been a good talk on this, so you know, if you're a fan of Scarlet Witch, I'm going to recommend this one to you. I'm going to skip it personally. 36 pages, $4.99. Not something I'm really interested in, so I'm going to skip it, but it actually sounds like a decent story. So I'm going to recommend this one for the Marvel fans of my viewers. Next up is Captain America Sentinel of Liberty. I'm going to skip it. Not a Captain America fan. Same with Gold Goblin. I'm going to skip it. It looks interesting, but it's just not something that catches my eye. Now, the Joker, the man who stopped laughing, I did think that I was gonna want this one, but I'm glad I didn't get it. Let me show you why here. So this is in that comic book. He is pregnant, and it just makes no sense on why that has to be involved in this, and it's just sad. Like I really, this looked really cool. This the man who stopped laughing was such a well-rounded character, and with that they just, I don't know what they're trying to push with that, but it's just not Joker. It's not Joker at all. So yeah, definitely I'm going to skip that one, and I'm going to recommend people who like this comic book. just skip it. It's not worth it whenever they start doing things like that, and it's also $5.99. Yeah, it's you're getting a bad story and you're paying a lot for it. Not worth it. Next up is Gotham City Year 1, issue number 4. I've actually heard decent reviews on the Gotham City comic book. This arc, this series. So I'll recommend it to fans, but I'm gonna skip it because I haven't read it or caught up with it, and there's just so much that it's just not something that's on my priority. I will put it on the want list, so maybe I'll come back to it later and remember, but it's just not something I'm interested in right now. Pretty much the rest of this whole what's it called? I'm sorry. This whole row is I'm gonna skip. Stillwater I recommend though. It's actually a pretty good story, and I actually kind of want to go back and start reading the trade paperbacks of how it started. I did read issue number 1, but that's as far as I've gotten. Next up is Shang-Chi, Master of the Ten Rings, issue number 1. Father and son side by side. Shang-Chi is lost in time, and the only one who can help him is his father. What will Shang-Chi do when he meets the younger version of his evil parent? Will he be able to change the course of history, or will he be shocked to discover he didn't know his father as well as he thought? Find out as Jean Luen Yang's Shang-Chi's saga comes to its shocking conclusion. So, I have mixed feelings about this one. It sounds really cool. We've got a decent writer on it, and looks like people are sad about it. So I recommend it to Shang-Chi fans, but I'm gonna skip it. I'm not a Shang-Chi fan, but it does sound like a cool story, so I'll recommend it. Next up is Joe Fixit, issue number 1. Peter David returns to Joe Fixit. Peter David's tour de force through some of the greatest Hulk hits continues with a return to Joe Fixit. Gone are the ripped up shorts of the Hulk Yor. This enforcer prefers the slick suave of a striped suit, and the Hulk has traded in monster for mobster as he lends his strength to Las Vegas casino scene. Of course, the Kingpin has his own ideas about who's the toughest guy, and it's up to Spider-Man to keep the two of them from destroying Sin City. So it's got Spider-Man. That's pretty cool. Joe Fixit. There's Kingpin. People are liking that it's Peter David. So yeah, I'll recommend this one. I might get it if I actually have extra money and everything. So yeah, I'll give this one a chance. Definitely recommend this one, and I might get it. Next up is Sonic the Hedgehog, issue number 56. I'm gonna skip it, but I do recommend it to Sonic fans. It's hit or miss, so I'll recommend it. And plus, IDW needs your help. Their stocks are at like less than $1, so any kind of money towards them will help, if it's worth it, of course. Next up is Radiant Pink, issue number 2. Now, I'm going to skip it. I did like it is an alter ego of one of the other Radiants. I'm just not sure who it is. But it just didn't appeal to me. I like the other ones a lot more. So I'm going to skip it, and I'll leave that up to you guys to figure out if you like or not. Oh, my computer just did something funny. So yeah, I'll leave that up to you if you like it or not. Definitely let me know in the comments if you like it, and yeah, just let me know in the comments if you like it. I'm kind of curious to see if I'm missing out. Next up is Boom Studios Magic the Gathering issue number 22. I'm going to recommend it to Magic the Gathering fans. I did watch. I haven't read the one that I've gotten yet, but it looks really cool, and I think I should start giving them a chance. So yeah, definitely I'll recommend this one. Check it out if you get the chance. I'm gonna start checking out the past issues to see if I like it. Next up is Boom Studios The Approach issue number 3. I recommend this one, and it's really good story where basically a old plane comes, and like it's been missing for a whole bunch of years, and all of a sudden it comes and kind of crashes into an airport, and they rescue somebody kind of, and it turns into a monster basically. So yeah, I highly recommend it. Definitely get this one. Put this on your pull list for sure. Next up is the Magic Order issue number 3, Magic Order number 3 issue number 6. I haven't heard anything really much about this. I haven't read it before. I've seen it, but I haven't seen any of the reviews or the details. It looks pretty interesting though. Kind of looks like an Image Comics version of Magic the Gathering, so I recommend that one for sure. Next up is Kaya, issue number 4 by Image Comics. Excuse me one second. I'm gonna skip that one. It didn't really catch my attention. It looked kind of like, I don't know, it just did not look appealing to me, and it's just not something that, I don't know, it just, here, let me show you what it's about. Well, it does look like there's, so if you've read it before, I don't know, it's just something that didn't appeal to me when I first read the description. I don't remember what it was. Here, let me pull up the first one. I'm trying to make this really fast. After the destruction of their village, a young girl with magic arm and frightening spirit is tasked with delivering her little brother to a faraway safe haven. There he is destined to discover the secret to overthrowing the all-powerful empire that destroyed their home. From writer and artist Wes Craig, Diddley Class Creators Union comes an astonishing new ongoing fantasy adventure series about siblings surviving the world of monsters and mutants. Okay, so I don't know, I think the art just threw me off. It looked a little bit childish to me, so I don't know, it might be good for teens. There's a lot of good ratings for it, so I guess it's I'll recommend it. I'll go ahead and recommend it. It's just not something I plan on catching up with because I've got so much on my plate. So I'll recommend it. I'll put it on my want list. Maybe it's something I'll go back later to think about. Next up is Star Trek issue number 3. I'll skip it. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Armageddon game, the Alliance number 3. I'm going to skip it. Not really my cup of tea when it comes to comic books. I never really was much of a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle fan, so I don't know. It's just something that doesn't look interesting to me. Calculated Man, I did like the first issue of that. My local comic shop ended up not really supplying it that much, so I didn't get to read it all. But I'll recommend it. It's just not something that I'm dying to read. Next up is Parker Girls by Abstract Studios. I don't think we get that one in my local comic book shop. So next one is Nita Ha's Nightmares blog, number 11. I did read the first few issues of that. I liked it, but then it started getting a little lame. I don't recommend that one. I skipped that one. Earth Divers issue number 4, Killing Columbus. I'm gonna skip it. It's just silly stuff. I'd never liked Columbus. He's an evil man, but the way that it's just ugly and dumb and silly. Next up is Batman Nightwatch issue number 5. I'd recommend it to Batman fans that really like this series. I'm gonna skip it. I have a lot. Like I said, I have a lot on my plate. It is $2.99 though, so it might be worth it. I think it looks like it's for kids, so definitely recommend it if you have kids and you want to get them into comic books. Next up is Astronaut Down issue number 5 at Aftershock Comics. I did read the first issue of this. It was alright, and it's just not something that really caught my attention to keep buying, but it was alright. If you like space fantasies, you might like this one, so I'll recommend it to people who like space fantasy comics, but definitely start from issue number 1. Next up is Unnatural Blue Blood by Image Comics, issue number 5. I highly recommend this one. It's a really good comic book. It's got a really great story. It's a little furry-esque, but it's definitely really good story. So I recommend it, even though it looks like it's made for furries. Next up is Mosley, issue number 1 by Boom Studios. From Farham creator Rob G and Sam Lofty, Harley Quinn, Mosley, and the satirical sci-fi blockbuster perfect for fans of In the hyper-technological world of the later 21st century, Mosley is a bitter old janitor on a mission from a higher power to unleash holy hell upon the too big to fail tech gods. Can one man bring down the corporate powers who've used their vast influence to oppress an all too complacent human race and hopefully win back the favor and a strange hammer? And he's gonna smash some stuff up until he sets his mankind free. Each issue will have wall-to-wall content and will feature a bonus story by series writer Rob G, starting with issue number 2. I'm gonna skip it. Looks like some people like it, but it's just the premise of it, I don't know. Not for me. Not for me, but it does sound like a lot of people are gonna like this one. It's just not something I am interested in, especially since I have a lot on my plate. Next up is Where Starships Go to Die, issue number 5. Again, like Astronaut Down, I did read a couple of this ones, and I kind of lost it after the second issue. Um, if you like the fantasy stuff, this might be good for you. It just was a little too bland for me. It's not kind of like, I don't know. It sounds like something this would go or happen here. And also, my local comic book shop didn't carry it. Stopped carrying it. Next up, Marvel Comics Ultraman Mystery of Ultra 7, number 5. I'm gonna skip it. Black Sun, Children of the Black Sun, issue number 1. I'm going to pick it, and this is the reason why. It's got the artist from the House of Slaughter. It's not too difficult to be happy under the blue sky, but it takes a lot of courage to be strong even under a black sun. Over 3 years, a black sun has risen twice. A dark dawn of those rays who's done terrible things to people's minds, driving them to all sorts of horrors. 12 years later, 12 years have passed since the last time the world still fears the return of the inexplicable phenomenon, but fear is not the only legacy of those terrible days. All the women who got pregnant under the influence of the black sun have given birth to babies with some peculiarities. I can't pronounce that word. With peculiarity, I can't do it. I feel so silly. Oh God, that's embarrassing. Live streaming, everybody. Anomalies. I can't even do that word right now. Good Lord. Yeah, they've got some different things going on with them. White hair, ashy skin, abnormal proportion, and eyes as red as fire. Oh hell. The Children of the Black Sun. Bright Vale is a small town like many others. Here the Children of the Black Sun are treated with a particular contempt, especially in the days leading up to the anniversary of 2 disasters. The hatred of their fellow villagers, terrified of possible return of the horror, will push these kids to unite and embark a hallucinatory journey to discover themselves. And then, see, this sounds dope. This sounds so dope. Sounds amazing. Alright. Next up is Vampirella vs. Red Sonja, issue number 3. I highly recommend it, and I definitely am going to get it. It's only a Teenage Wasteland, issue number 2. I recommend it, but I'm going to skip it because I have a lot on my plate. Spy Superb, issue number 1. By Dark Horse Comics. The last one was by Dark Horse Comics too, Teenage Wasteland. Vampirella Red Sonja is by Dynamite Entertainment. But let's see here. Spy Superb, issue number 1. From New York Times best-selling. Okay. It's John Wick meets Wes Anderson in the mystery thriller about a secret organization that has developed the perfect spy. Who is the perfect spy? A spy who doesn't realize that they're a spy, aka the useful idiot. This particular useful idiot is named Jay. Jay is sent on missions without even realizing he's on a mission until he picks up the wrong phone with the wrong secret intel, and now Russian hit squads and elite assassins are after him. But Jay believes he was a sleeper agent and really is the spy superb. His complete obliviousness and lack of survival skills may be the only thing that saves him from the global trotting espionage tail, where nothing is what it seems, but also kind of what it seems. It's $7.99, and it just does not sound like it'll be worth it to me. Matt Kent is a good writer, but it doesn't seem worth $7.99. Sorry. Next up is Gangster Ass Barista by Black Mask Studios, a coffee-fueled crime comedy from Pat Shan, Destiny York, Asa Barb, and Van Helsing. Trinity used to live a life of crime, but now she has left behind her old life and works at a coffee shop. Unfortunately, making ends meet isn't the easiest thing to do with a minimum wage job, not to mention the fact that customers are beginning to get Trinity's nerves, and it's getting harder and harder to not let old tendencies take control. When Trinity's past comes calling, it's like a famous quote. Just when I went through it, just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in. Includes a comic book, a free bonus comic. Skip it. Skipping it. Thing is with stuff like this, it just these slice of life, with a little bit of action from Western comics, just turn into something where it's more talking about politics than it is about a story. So I'm gonna skip this one for sure. Don't recommend it either. The LGBTQ community might get a kick out of it, so I recommend it for them. But mostly, it's just a little bit of a slice of life with politics. So if you're into that, there's a good comic for you. Rick and Morty Cthulhu issue number 2. I'm gonna skip it. My Hero Academia is coming out January 6th, so I recommend you get that when it comes out. Trojan issue number 1 by AWA and Upshot. It might be just AWA. Cool. Once upon a time, we live alongside legends. I kind of like this cover here. It looks like she's got wings. Once upon a time, we lived alongside legends, creatures, myths, centaurs, fauns, gorgons, kelpies, gnomes, and more. They were spectacular, majestic, powerful, peaceful, pure. In comparison, we were ugly, weak, warmongering, rotten as it rotten. Is it any wonder we cannot live alongside them any longer after driving these legends to the fringes of society? An uglier form and mythos takes shape in the form of rumors of live snuff shows for dark web high rollers. So it's like a Red Room thing with when a mysterious young woman enlists the help of a hacker to take tour of the grisliest corners of the dark web. She sets in motion a war between those who peddle mankind's darkest fantasies in a world that transcends imagination. Trojan is a fantasy thriller full of wonderful and horror in equal measure. I think I will pull it. We'll see if it it's $3.99. It sounds pretty cool. Sounds like a Red Room thing. I really don't like those concepts in comic books very much, but we'll see how this one goes. It actually kind of sounds pretty interesting. Next up is Rogue State, issue number 2 by Black Mask Studios. A Dusk Girl continues her search for Taylor. The black shirts are on a trail. If she's not careful, Dusk Girl will find her way to the secret prison. Let's see, let's go to number 1 to see what if a contested presidential. Oh goodness! All right. It's a political comic. I don't really like comics that are too political, so I'm gonna skip it. Black Mask really does hyper political stuff, so it just wouldn't be entertaining. It would just be upsetting, and I use comics to escape, not get reminded of how crappy life is. Next up is My Little Pony number 8. I'm gonna skip it. Rebellions 2000 AD 23 issue number 13 or I'm gonna skip it. I did get issue number 1. It was pretty cool, but it's just too much out of my price range and not keeping my interest enough to want to continue, so we'll skip that one. But I do recommend it if you like the concept of it, and if you read it before, definitely recommend it to those fans because it'll not disappoint. Next up is Purgatory Must Die by Dynamite Studios, issue number 1. Purgatory is always pissing somebody off, but this time she may have gone too far once again. Love it. It may have some connection to her growing insanely powerful and probably starting to kill and eat the gods. Wow. In fact, the last part for sure, and gods are like potato chips, right? It's not like she's going to stop at one, and so various pantheos have pulled their not inconsiderable resources to offer up a big prize to whatever psycho manages to kill her. Who wants to try? Hey, who doesn't? The creative team behind Vampirella vs. Purgatory and the recent Purgatory miniseries reunite for the grand third act of the Purgatory saga, guest starring Evil Ernie. Oh wow, Vampirella and the Sacred Six. That is cool. So I do recommend this one, and I am gonna get it. Sounds awesome. I'm looking forward to that. Bad Idea Comics have really stopped showing up in my comic book shop. Too expensive. Horror Comics by Antarctic Press. If you're a fan of these little series, I recommend it, but it's just too much in my opinion. Jujutsu Kaisen's chapter 209 is coming out Friday. Grit and Gears by Blood Moon. I don't think we're getting that one. Family Time by Ablaze Publishing, issue number 2. I missed number 1, so let's see. O'Connell family, Lily age 13, Tyler age number 11, and their parents are vacationing to Ireland when they encounter an old man with a mysterious crystal that seemingly teleports 1,000 years back in time. Unsure whether they have stumbled onto a historical reenactment. The family must befriend Rory, a timid local, battle a medieval tyrant named Syrian and his henchmen to figure out how to get back to the present. It sounds cute. Sounds like It's meant for teenagers, but there's a little bit of a scary comic in the back. So I don't know. I think teens would like this one, especially around this age or a little bit older. I actually kind of recommend this one for kids and teens. I kind of a little sad that I missed out on it. Unprepped, I don't think shows up. These don't show up. Image Comics. Oh, I missed this one. Scott McTiernan Holiday Party, issue number 1. The first came the 420 special. I'm gonna skip this one. It looks cool, and I like Image Comics and everything, but it's just, yeah, not something I want to spend extra money on. Hammerfall issue number 1 by Opus Comics. A vile blight spreads across the land when lone warriors rise deep into the forest to face savagery and madness head on. His quest for justice leads him to figure from his past the herald to the dark master who cannot be undone by mastery of arms alone. This one is $6.66. The cover looks amazing. All covers look amazing in this. That looks so dope. It's like a toy. Oh wow. Yeah, if I have extra money left over, I might get this one, but it's just I'm a little broke right now, and I'm trying to save as much as possible, but we'll see if I get this one or not. Kaiju number 8 is coming out Friday. They're actually starting an anime. I saw a preview for that, so keep an eye out for that. Next up is Action Journalism, issue number 4. I have a couple of those ones. Wasn't really my forte. It's not meant for me. Only Press does some good comic books sometimes, but that one definitely was not meant for me. Deathgasm by Opus Comics. Like I said, with these ones, this one really doesn't catch my eye as much as the other one. Let's see how big the New Zealand writer turns. Deathgasm has reformed and gone on tour to take out every damn demon. Yeah, it just sounds like a Slaughterfest. If you're into Slaughterfest and you like the writer of Deathgasm, I recommend it, but it's just not for me. Now, Black Clover is coming out on the Friday too. I don't get those. The calendar's coming out, and the rest we don't get. But next, the last but not least is Punchline Special issue number 1. Now, what I think is funny is there's Punchline in DC, and now there's Punchline in Antarctic Press. So I don't know how that works, but cool. I guess since it's Japanese, it really doesn't matter. But well, no, the writer's Bill Williams, so it's Walter Wallace 1-2 punchlines in the special crossover one-shot. Talented ventriloquist Camilo Wallace, aka Veritas Man, is nearly broke after paying for a special superhero suit and is now on quest for treasure. Along the way, he finds an ally, Versema, along with generosity, action, and a source of unlimited bacon. What a lucky guy. If I knew these comic book characters, I guess it would be sound. It would be cool, but yeah, it doesn't sound interesting to me. So that just does it here for this comic book days Wednesday new comic book new comic book day comic book Wednesday for January the 4th 2023, the first comic book Wednesday of the year. And yeah, we got a decent one this time. So let me know if I skipped some that you like. Let me know if there's some that you do like, or some that I gotta take a second look at. Thank you so much for watching. Like I said before in previous videos, the first to sign up to my Patreon and stay a member for about a month gets this Natsu Funko Pop. If you don't like the Funko Pop, I've got a lot of comic books that I can give out, and we'll discuss it. But yeah, thank you so much for thank you so much for watching. Sorry. Thank you so much for watching. Salam alaikum. Have a great rest of your day, and happy new comic book day. Happy New Year's.